Now that we've all wrapped up the school year for the most part, I know that we all are wanting to avoid the summer slide and keep the routines that we have going. So here's a quick look at what we're going to be doing for our summer learning plans this year. Hello, my name is Megan. If you're new to Mile High Homeschool, I'm a second generation homeschooler and I like to make homeschooling and homemaking videos that hopefully are encouraging to you in your journey. And today I wanted to go through with you guys what our plans are for learning throughout the summer. So one thing that I really want to work on practicing this summer is more of reading a clock and understanding time and that kind of thing. We had introduced that earlier in the year last year, but haven't really done a lot of review with that or a lot of practice. And so everything from like these flashcards, which have the digital time on one side and the clock face on the other. So they've got time stuff with that. They also have money things in these flashcards. We also have some extra cards put in there. They're from a different set. But that way you can practice how reviewing how much coins are worth and that kind of thing. So I really like that. Or like, how much does the apple cost? The apple costs 12 cents. Okay. Put your coins in the space to equal the 12 cents. So it's a great way to practice money as well, which once again was another math concept that we had introduced last year and just haven't really gone and spent much more time with it the rest of the year. Or even like this one, it's puzzles that you have to find the time that match and then it'll actually like click together so they see the digital time and the analog time. Or you can say, okay, what time is sports practice at? Oh, we usually go to sports at this time. Okay, make the clock match this one. So that's an easy one. This red one is actually a clock that I grew up with as a kid, and behind the numbers are the minutes. So there's the hours and then the minutes behind it, which is fun. I just think this will be a super simple and fun way to be able to practice and keep up our math and money skills. Another math thing that I want to practice too, that are some fun games we have, is we have this abacus that's great for learning place value and numbers that way. So I think it'll be fun to use that more. And then also these math cubes that we have, they just like click together into different shapes. And so you can use them to build, my kids call them number blocks, and they use them for building different things all the time. But I also like the cards they come with because it's like they let you practice sequencing. And so you complete the sequence and the pattern, or there's simple addition, or it's make the shape, like make a shape that can fit on that graph, or okay, so you build to match these shapes and then arrange them from shortest to highest and highest to shortest. Or there's simple subtraction problems, or even just like 3D puzzles of like, okay, can you copy these shapes and rebuild these shapes? So it's a great kind of abstract learning tool that I think will be really helpful. And once again, an easy way to practice math, but not make it a chore, not make it a worksheet that we're having to sit down and do. Another really great resource that we got from other homeschoolers was these set of logic puzzles. And so they're like the grid logic ones, and then there are some that are just riddles that they have to do. And it's like everything kindergarten through second grade is like the general idea of it, or like word problems. Which I think these will be really fun to go through. I'm probably just going to make copies of them so that way I can save them for the other kids and stuff too. But I think my daughter will really enjoy these. And I wouldn't be surprised if my son wants to take part in them too. Once again, that kind of lateral thinking, that kind of stuff, and like kind of solving those puzzles is a great way to keep their mind engaged over the summer without it needing to be like a worksheet or we're going to drill this book or that kind of thing. So it's a fun way to keep the learning fun and light, but still be something that they can enjoy doing. A handful of other things that I want to keep working on over the summer too are our scripture memory. So our kiddos, the oldest two, are both in Awanas. So we're going to keep working on this throughout the summer. So that way she can get a head start on her Awanas book for the fall, which I think will be really fun. I also got these really fun, there's safety cards, and then there's like these situational awareness cards. So these ones are like, okay, if a secret's scary, tell a trusted adult. And like you talk about the situation and ask questions about it, or how you stay safe in stormy weather, or how you take care of tools and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different just like safety things that, I mean, when you have kids, there's so much to keep track of, that being like, hey, did we go over telling people where we're going? Or did we talk about the fact that like your name and address is something that you talk to if you like need help from a policeman or something and that you should know, but that doesn't mean you tell it to everybody. Just stuff like that, that it's like, let's find a way to talk about it and just be intentional about it. And this one I think is going to be really fun because I think it'll be good to be able to go through it this summer with not just my daughter, but with my son as well. So I'm hoping that this summer we'll be able to kind of create a soft learning schedule that is a similar framework to what I'm wanting to institute in the fall. And so I think this will be a great thing to be able to like just sit down and discuss 1 or 2 cards every morning while we have breakfast, you know. And then this one is really cool because it's like a situational awareness thing, which is so key for kids to learn, but can be so difficult sometimes. So it's just like pictures of what's going on, but then you flip it over and it has some questions of like, what's going on here? Like, did they do something wrong? Why did that happen? Are the people in the room acting nicely? And so it gives the kids a chance to kind of assess the situation and learn how to read a room, which I feel like is such a valuable skill. Empathy and understanding and learning how to read a situation is such an important skill just in life in general. So I think these will be really fun to go through too with my kids. The last thing that I want to make sure we do this summer is some copy work. Now this will mainly just be for my daughter because she's the one who has done cursive. And so I just used the blank sheets at the back of our Rebecca penmanship book from this last year. And then I had a notebook of just lined paper, and I used a highlighter and I just did my own penmanship and copied out different verses, or I think I even did some like quotes or sayings or mottos and that kind of thing, just because I want her to keep practicing her penmanship throughout the year. I don't want it to be something that lags behind and then we get into August and it's not there anymore. And so I figure this is an easy way to keep it going. I'm just like, hey, let's do 1 sheet a day. Like, we're just going to practice just a little bit just to keep in that rhythm. So I think that'll be a super simple one. Now, the last part of our summer reading plans is reading, which, I mean, if you know me, books are a huge deal. So I wasn't about to let that go. And we're doing 2 kinds of reading, of mom reading to kids and kids reading to mom. Now, granted, the kids reading to mom part is mainly just my daughter because she's the one who started reading this last year. So I want to keep encouraging that and help her with that. So we'll be going through the Bob books. We have these 2 already. She's almost done with this one and has been doing that for school anyway. But then she'll also be going through this one. And then, so we have a bunch of the Bob books and they're kind of mixed up a little bit as to if I think we have duplicates of some and then not any of others, but that's okay. So we've got this set that we're going to go through. We're going to go through this set as well. I also want to go through this one too. And then this one, which I realize you're like, Megan, that is a lot of books, which it is, but I want her to be able to practice every day if we can. And I want her to just learn to get more comfortable with them. Now, if we do get through all the Bob books and she needs more reading material, we're going to go through this book, which is like this fun little antique book that is just so cute, but it's just a fun one and simple for her to read and that kind of thing. And with books like this, when it's a little more words and more of it, if she's really struggling with a story, a lot of times the strategy I will use is that she reads a page and I'll read the next page, and then she reads a page, I read the next page, and we go back and forth like that to finish the story. But I like it because like it kind of introduces the idea of chapter books, so it's not an overwhelming amount of reading. And then this is another one that goes with it. It's like the next one in the series, I believe, which is cute. These are actually old school books from a local school district, which is pretty cool. And so I think it'll just be really fun. They're really cute pictures and illustrations. So I think those will be really fun. And then for books that I'm going to read to the kids, we're going to go through the 5 Little Peppers and how they grew. And then we're also going to go through the Wizard of Oz. And these are books that, just to keep costs down, I always keep my eyes open anytime I go to an antique store or a thrift store or anything like that for old school books, because yeah, they might be a little more beat up and stuff like that, but the grammar in them is usually really good. The words are really good. The pictures are really beautiful. And so I like having old school books on hand. So I will always check the book section at every thrift store I go to, at every antique store I go to, because you never know what you're gonna find. Well, hopefully that gave you some really good ideas about summer learning and how you could keep learning fun throughout the summer, but kind of vary it up a little bit so it's a little different from the school year, so you and your kids both still get that break, but also don't lose your routine or anything else that you've worked on throughout the year. Comment down below what your plans are for this summer. I would love to hear them. And be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.